Hey everybody, Professor Cloud here with the next video in the Dex Int Battle Mage build guide. The previous two videos we have gone through the process of collecting and getting the necessary components to get this build ready for the first major boss, Margit, by focusing on specific areas in Elden Ring. First video we focused on Limgrave. Second video, we focused on Weeping Peninsula. In this video, which will be a much shorter video, we're going to be focusing on Caelid. Now, if you've played the game before, which you should have, more than likely going into this build guide, then you know that Caelid is a very risky area. Everybody in that particular section of the map is probably twice the level of difficulty that it should be for it being the second major area, third major area in the game. So even going in there at, say, level 40, you're going to get clobbered. You really need to be in the range of level 60 or higher. Now, I'm going to be going in there at level 15, but I'm only going in there to collect items. Now, the items that I'm going to collect are just for this build. There's a new staff. There is a new spell. I'll go ahead and pick up the golden seed and maps so that we have them. But aside from that, I am not going to spend any more time in Caelid than is absolutely necessary. I'm saying this because, in addition to the items that you're going to see me collect, if you know Caelid well enough, you'll know that there is also a very easily accessible extra memory stone. There are also somber smithing stones in the area that are also easy to pick up. A 9, a 5, I believe there's an 8. Yeah, there's a 5, 8, and 9 that are very easy to pick up. Plus, you also could get Radagon's Soar Seal. You could also kill the big sleeping dragon and get yourself 80,000 runes. But all of these things are standard. They're not specific to the build. They're just there in the area. I'm calling them out because I would highly recommend you use all of those before going into Margit, especially if you don't feel comfortable with Margit's moveset. So, let's go ahead and jump into our build. And I am going to be starting from the Third Church of Marika, the northeastern part of Limgrave. Now, you'll see here I happen to be in the Waypoint Ruins. That's because I've gone through the process of doing a little bit of leveling up between the Weeping Peninsula video and this one. And I have now gotten 3 spells in my arsenal. I made sure to purchase and attach the Carrion Slicer. So I now have both a range and melee option. So, let's go ahead to the Third Church of Marika. And this is just the quickest way, I feel, to get into Caelid and to get there without too much trouble and without getting attacked too much. So, let's go ahead and in. Okay, so I find the easiest way to get into Caelid from here is to just use this ridge. And yes, I could have used that wind tunnel right there, but instead, I'm actually going to go this way because, one, it puts us into Caelid a lot faster, and 2, it's going to allow us to collect... Actually, I did need to take that wind tunnel. I do apologize. It will allow us to collect Trina Lilies. So, first of all, right there is Gal Tunnel. That is one end of the Gal Tunnel that you can get to. The other end, of course, is in Caelid. Now, if you've played the game before, then you know that Gal Tunnel is also where you can talk to Alexander if you are using his quest line. It is also, though, and I talked about this during the Limgrave video, when I showed you the 100+ level version of the build, and that's that I go to Moonveil and use Moonveil as my primary melee weapon. It scales extremely well with intelligence, which works very, very well for a Dex Int build, and it's a katana, therefore, of course, it is also a Dex weapon. In order to get Moonveil, you would go into Gal Tunnel and kill the Magma Worm. Not something I would recommend doing at level 15. And certainly not with Glintstone Pebble. But I'm making you aware of it and where it's located so that you can go there at your convenience. Now, from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to the Aeonia Swamp, because that is where both of the two items are that I need to get to. Now, the simplest way is to just follow the road, picking up the sites of grace along the way, but of course also trying to avoid dogs, birds, pretty much anything. Oh. Let's go down this side. Yeah, so let's go grab the next site of grace, which is right over here at the ruins. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hug the left-hand side of the ruins. I'm actually not going to go down the road. And the reasoning behind that is because there are marionettes that are traveling along the road just looking for any tarnished that they possibly can find to snag. So there is the binocular, or the telescope that's on this road, and of course on the other side of this wall is the next site of grace. Now we're actually coming up on where both the staff and spell are located. They're actually right down here. Matter of fact, you can actually see the ruins that are in the swamp. But I'm going to come back here. I want to get the next site of grace. I want to get the golden seed and the map. And then we'll warp back here to get the meteorite staff and rock sling. Now, I want to call out one more thing as I'm getting ready to come up on it right now. Right from here, you can see a set of ruins right over top of my head. I don't remember the name of those ruins, but if you want to try and get a katana or dex-based melee weapon earlier than you could Moonveil, the meteorite blade is actually in those ruins. It does not require a boss fight, but there are a lot of enemies surrounding the entrance to the cellar where you would get the blade, and when you get down to the bottom of the stairs, there are a huge number of enemies that are surrounding a whole bunch of sarcophagi. Now, the cool thing about it is if you go in there silent, because it's dark, you can actually avoid the majority of them and just kill what you need down one row. So, I'm making you aware of it. Take it at your own risk. You're liable to die at least once trying to get in there, because it is tough. And the other thing, I'll give you a piece of advice. If you do decide to go this route, go around from the back side to get into the entrance, because the entrance to the underground is all the way in the back right-hand corner from where I'm looking right now. Okay. Let me go and get the golden seed. Actually, I'll go down here and pick up this site of grace, because this is actually a easier site of grace to get to those ruins. The only problem with this site of grace is that you have to be very, very careful not to aggro Commander O'Neill. Okay. So I'm going to go up this way. try and connect back up with the road. I'll grab the golden seed. Alright, so there's the road. There's X-Ix, the rotten dragon, and I aggroed him. That's not good. That's a guaranteed one-shot death if he hits me with his rotten breath. The most powerful incantation in the game is the rotten breath that you can get from killing him. Alright, so there's the map. We'll go down here and get the golden seed, and then we'll warp back. Alright. So, I'm going to go back to the Aeonia Swamp Shore, and then I'm going to hug the shoreline so that I don't accidentally aggro anything. And I'm going to head for those ruins. So, this first ruin closest to the... cliffside is where you can get Meteorite Staff. It's right there hanging over the ledge, and as you saw, you can just walk on the ledge without any problem. Now, Rock Sling is going to be straight ahead, and I'm going to apologize. I'm probably going to forget where the entrance is. Nope, going to find it. Very simple. Straight on back, and no boss fight. So we go right on in. And there's Rock Sling. So now, because of that, I can swap out my Astrologer's Staff for the Meteorite Staff. I don't need to... my attributes are perfectly fine because I made sure that my intelligence was up to 20. You will need to have your intelligence up to 18. So be aware of that if you're not following the exact process that I am. The great thing about the Meteorite Staff is that I can now equip Rock Sling, and Meteorite Staff gives a boost to Rock Sling. And hopefully you just saw there how great Carrion Slicer is. 3 swipes in Caelid, and I was able to kill him, and I used no more than 12 FP to do it. So, the next thing for me is to warp back. The next place that we're going to go is Lake of Liurnia. And it's going to be for optional stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the gate front, because that was the last place in Limgrave that you recognize. We're going to go around to the backside of Lake of Liurnia, which you should know about by now if you've played the game before. And then we're going to go through some optional spots in Lake of Liurnia that will help bolster what we've already done in Limgrave, Weeping Peninsula, and Caelid. You don't have to do all of them. You don't have to do any of them. But they will absolutely help bolster this particular build leading into Margit. And then after we do that, we will take a shot at Margit with the build that we've put together, and we'll see how things go. So hopefully I'll see you in the next video. And as always, if you've been enjoying the content, please make sure to hit the like button. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you next time.